Good morning, students. Welcome back to our e-learning class. Students, today in this video we are going to cover the following topics from Unit 1 History, that is Nationalism in Europe, from the book India and the Contemporary World Part 2. So from that book, our first unit, that is Nationalism in Europe, and from that unit we are going to cover the following topics. All these topics are very important from examination point of view. In each topic some questions are being covered, some objective questions are also being covered. So I appeal all the students to watch this video carefully and listen to this lecture with full concentration so that you can understand all the concepts and it will be helpful to you in writing the exam in an easy manner. Okay students, now let's start. Our first topic is a new conservatism after 1815. A new conservatism after 1815. Students, you know Napoleon Bonaparte was the ruler of France. He became the dictator. He created terror throughout the European continent by his wars. Many individual countries tried to oppose him, to control his extension of power in the European continent, but they failed. But they miserably failed. Then they decided to form into coalition, groups. And first coalition was formed. First group, it fought with Napoleon. That coalition also been defeated. Second coalition formed, it also met the same fate. Again third coalition, again it was defeated. At last the fourth coalition was formed with countries comprising Britain, Prussia, Russia, Britain, Prussia, P-R-U-S-S-I-A, Russia, Austria, and two more countries, Sweden and one more country. So they formed into a group and coalition and fought with Napoleon Bonaparte, and they were successful, and Napoleon Bonaparte was finally defeated in the Battle of Waterloo, in the year 1815, 1815. So after the defeat, immediately the fourth coalition heads, they sent that person to an island called St. Helena. This St. Helena island is located in Atlantic Ocean. So there he was sent, and there he was stayed for 6 years, and in 1821 due to some disease, maybe stomach cancer, he was died finally. So what I want to say, soon after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, what happened? What was happened at that time? So soon after that one, all the members of the fourth coalition, or all the coalition countries, they were driven with the spirit of conservatism. They once again wanted to establish the old order which was existed before Napoleon or during the Napoleon Bonaparte period. So following the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1815 in the Battle of Waterloo, all European governments were driven by a spirit of conservatism. Now what is conservatism? You should know what is meant by conservatism. In the textbook, in the yellow box, it was given it was a political philosophy that stressed the importance of tradition, established institutions, customs, and preferred gradual development to quick change. So that is the meaning of conservatism. So there are all the governments of Europe countries, they were driven by the spirit of conservatism. These conservatives, they believed that established traditions, institutions of the state and society, like the monarchy was there earlier. It's an old order. So monarchy, the church which was there at that time, Church is the highest authority in some period. So monarchy, the church, social hierarchies in the society, property and the family should be preserved. So these are the things which these conservative people want to preserve as it is. Once again after 1815. I told the European powers which defeated Napoleon Bonaparte were Britain, Russia, Prussia, Austria, Sweden, etc. So, who collectively defeated Napoleon Bonaparte. Now they decided to have one meeting at Vienna. Vienna is the capital of Austria, not Australia, Austria. So they decided to have a meeting. Hence they sent invitations to all the European heads to meet at Vienna on so and so date. Okay. The main purpose of this Vienna Congress means what? A group of people attending any meeting. So the main aim of this Vienna Congress was to discuss about the political resettlement of Europe. So the Congress of Vienna, the meeting was held at Austria, and this meeting was hoisted, H-O-I-S-T-E-D, hoisted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich, who drew up the Treaty of Vienna of 1815. A treaty means what? One agreement. T-R-E-A-T-Y. Treaty of Congress Vienna means an agreement that was held in the Vienna Congress by all the heads of European countries. I can say the same thing like this. The guiding principles of Congress Vienna. Congress Vienna held in 1815 at Vienna, the capital of Austria. So the major points that were discussed in the Vienna Congress were, actually the main purpose is, sole purpose is to discuss about the political resettlement of Europe after defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. So what are the main points of the Treaty of Vienna? Number 1, the Bourbon dynasty, which had been removed. The Bourbon dynasty, which was removed from the throne during the French Revolution in 1789, was restored to power. Bourbon dynasty once again called back and restored the power back, or restored the power back to them. Again, the Bourbon dynasty was given the power to rule over France. Second point, with the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, France lost all territories, places or annexed countries. So France lost all the territories which it had annexed during the Napoleon Bonaparte period, or under the leadership of Napoleon Bonaparte. Third one, a series of states, a number of states were set up on the borders of, or I can say on the boundaries of France, to prevent the French expansion of power in future. So a series of states were fixed on the boundaries of France to control the further expansion of power by France. Thus the Kingdom of Netherlands, which included Belgium at the time, was set up on the north of France, and Genoa, not Geneva, Genoa, G-E-N-O-A, Genoa, a place in Switzerland, at present was set up on the, Genoa was added to Piedmont in the south. So northern part Netherlands was set up, and southern part Genoa, added to Piedmont in the south. Similarly, another point, Prussia was given important new territories on its western frontiers. Prussia was given some new territories in the western front of France, while Austria was given control over the northern Italian states. So Austria had control over northern Italian states, and Prussia was given control over western territories of France. Similarly, the German Confederation, which was formed by Napoleon Bonaparte after abolishing the Ottoman Empire or Holy Roman Empire. So German Confederation was formed by Napoleon Bonaparte. So the German Confederation of 39 states, it's a confederation means what? Union, group of 39 states that had been set up by Napoleon was left untouched. It was not touched, it was kept as it is. Next one, in the east, Russia was given a part of Poland. So Russia was given control over a part of Poland. Poland is a neighboring country to Japan at present. While Prussia was given a portion of Saxony. Russia was given a portion of Poland, while Prussia was given control over a portion of Saxony, a state, a Italian state. Now, so the main intention of the Congress of Vienna was to restore the old order, to restore the monarchies once again, as it was before Napoleon Bonaparte came into power in France, that had been overthrown by Napoleon, and create a new conservative order. I mean, this Congress of Vienna wanted to establish a new conservative order, I mean old order which was there earlier before Napoleon Bonaparte became the ruler of France. Conservative regimes set up in 1815. So when the conservatism was started, 1815, and this conservatism was very autocratic, I mean very powerful. Most of them imposed, and this conservative order wherever established, in whichever states it was established, okay, they imposed censorship on certain things. They imposed censorship on newspapers, books, plays, songs, etc. I mean, they cannot publish anything they like. Okay, censorship was there and reflected the ideas of liberty and freedom associated with the French Revolution. Okay, now move to the next topic, that is the revolutionaries. Who were revolutionaries? Very simple. The people who involved in carrying out the revolutions, the people who were involved in carrying out the revolutions are called revolutionaries. So during the years following 1815, I mean after 1815, with the fear of repression, drove many liberal nationalists underground, because once again the old order, the conservative order was imposed in all the states. So with the fear of this conservative order, autocratic order, many liberal nationalists, they were underground. I mean, they didn't started any revolutions. They, with the fear, they were underground, not coming out. Main objectives of the revolutionaries were, what were the main objects of revolutionaries? To establish, okay, the main object of revolutions were to oppose the monarchies or the monarchical system, to oppose the conservative order. I mean, the liberal nationalists, they don't want the old order, conservatism. So they want to oppose the monarchical forms that had been established after the Congress of Vienna or Vienna Congress, and also to fight for liberty and freedom. They want to make their states independent and strong nations. Okay, most of these revolutionaries saw the creation of nation state as a necessary part of the struggle for freedom. I mean, they want to establish their kingdoms into a nation state. Now, moving to the next topic, that is the age of revolutions, 1830 and 1840. Students, here you need to listen carefully. In France, two important, I mean, apart from the Great French Revolution 1789, apart from the Great French Revolution 1789, two more revolutions occurred after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. One revolution occurred in 1830 and one is in 1840. The 1830 revolution is also called as July Revolution. The 1830 revolution is also called the July Revolution because it took place in the month of July as per the French calendar. And the 1840 revolution, another name is the February Revolution because it took place in the month of February. So two revolutions, 1830 and 1840, took place in France after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. And these revolutions were started by the revolutionaries. Now, liberalism and nationalism. Liberalism already we studied, means freedom, and nationalism, I mean the feeling of unity. So liberalism and nationalism came to be increasingly associated with the revolutions in many regions of Europe, such as the Italian and German states. So first, the revolutions were started in Italy and Germany. Okay, Italian states and German states, the provinces of Ottoman Empire, and also Ireland and Poland also. First Italy, Germany, Ottoman Empire, and Poland, and also Ireland, revolutions were started. The first upheaval, the first revolution took place in France in July 1830. The first revolution took place in France, July 1830. And this revolution sparked a uprising in Brussels. I mean, the revolution actually started in Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium. Okay, which led to Belgium breaking away from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. So this revolution led to the break of Belgium from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. So Belgium was separated from Netherlands due to that 1830 revolution, July Revolution of France. The growth of revolutionary nationalism in Europe sparked off a struggle for independence amongst the Greeks, which began in 1821. So the previous revolution that influenced the people of Greek also, hence the Greeks also led one revolution against Turkey in 1821, and finally it got independence. Poets, artists praised Greeks as the cradle of European civilization. Every poet, every priest or every artist, they praised the Greek culture, literature as the cradle for European continent. Okay, and mobilized public opinion to support its struggle against the Muslim empire, that is Turkish empire. I mean, poets, artists, they are the main cause to develop the inspiration, to develop the feeling of revolutions among the people of Greeks against their foreign control, Turkey. Okay, now finally the Treaty of Constantinople. So there was a revolution between the Greeks and the Turks, and finally the Greeks got victory over the Turkey people, and finally the Treaty of Constantinople, okay, was held in 1832, and by the treaty Greek nation or Greek state became independent and became a nation. Now it became independent from the control of Turkey. Next topic, students, the romantic imagination and national feeling. The romantic imagination and national feeling. So in this topic you will get the meaning about what is meant by romanticism and how romanticism helped in the development of the feeling of nationalism. How romanticism helped in developing the spirit of nationalism among the people. Yes. So the development of nationalism did not come about only through wars and territorial expansion. I mean, the feeling of nationalism have not developed only through wars and territorial expansion. Actually, culture played an important role in creating the idea of the nation. Dash played an important in the idea of nation, culture, along with nationalism. Art and poetry, stories and music. Art, poetry, stories and music played an important role, or you can say helped in express and shape the nationalist feelings. Now coming to the point, what is meant by romanticism? What is meant by romanticism? Romanticism is a cultural movement. Romanticism is a cultural movement that developed in a specific form of nationalist sentiment. Romantic artists and poets criticized the glorification of the reason and science. I mean, Romanticism always opposed science and reason. They don't want to glorify science and reason. They focused on emotions. The romantic artists, they focused on emotions, institution and mystical feelings, and they tried to create a sense of shared collective heritage. They tried to develop a shared collective heritage as a basis of a nation. Romantic German philosophers, for example, Johann Gottfried, romantic German philosopher, namely Johann Gottfried Herder, claimed that a true German culture was to be discovered among the common people called Das Volk. So the common people of German are called what? Das Volk. D-A-S, Das, V-O-L-K, Volk. Das Volk means the common people in Germany. The true spirit of nation called Volksgeist. Okay, the true spirit of nation called Volksgeist was popularized through folk songs, folk poetry and folk dances. Who did this work? Johann Gottfried Herder. Now, nationalism through music and language. How music and language helped in the development of the feeling of nationalism. Poland was known longer existed as a independent territory because it was some part was given to the control of Russia, or Russia is having control over Poland. So Poland, which was no longer existed as an independent territory, kept nationalist feeling alive through music and language. For example, Karol Kurpinski celebrated the national struggle through his operas, operas and music, turning folk dances like Polonaise and mazurka into nationalist symbols. Many members of the clergy in Poland, clergy means what? The church officials in Poland, began to use the language as the weapon of national resistance. The use of police means what? Poland language. The use of police came to be seen as a symbol of struggle against Russian domination. I mean, the Poland people, they were not happy with their foreign control Russia. Hence, the Poland people, I mean, they developed the feeling of nationalism through music and language, and with that language, with that weapon, they fought against the Russian domination against Poland. Okay, now moving to the another important topic, that is hunger, hardship and popular revolt. Hunger, hardship and popular revolt. In 1830s, listen students, very important topic, contains one question. In 1830s, or I can say the 1830s were the years of great economic hardship in Europe. That means in 1830s, some events took place in Europe which is responsible for the economic hardships. So the years of 1830 in Europe is called economic hardship. The first half of 19th century. First half of 19th century means what? From 1801 to 1850. From 1801 to 1850 is the first half of 19th century. So from the first half of 19th century saw an enormous increase of population. I mean, tremendous increase of population was there in the first half of 19th century. So tremendous increase of population all over the Europe continent. Population from rural areas migrated to the cities to live in overcrowded slums. So increase in population. Crowds of people migrated from rural to urban areas and they lived in slums. Small producers in towns were often faced stiff competition from imports of cheap machine-made goods from industrially developed England. Another problem. Third one, in those regions of Europe where the aristocracy, still enjoyed power, peasants struggled under the burden of feudal dues and obligations. So first is increase in population. Prices of essential goods were increased. Agriculture production was decreased. Number of famines took place during that year. Moreover, the slum areas were increased. Moreover, local producers, they found stiff competition with the machine-made goods, the imports which came from England. Moreover, the places where aristocracy was still existed, there the peasants, small farmers, they burdened due to the feudal dues and other obligations. So that's why these years are called what? The years of economic hardships. Now, weavers' revolt in 1845. Where this weavers' revolt took place and what was happened at that time. So listen students, in North Silesia or Silesia is the name of a place. Silesia, Silesia. In Silesia, which is a weaving village where more weavers are there who are weaving the cloth. So in Silesia, okay, weaving was the most widespread occupation of the people. The misery of the workers was extreme. I mean, they are very poor. Okay, they desperate need for jobs. I mean, jobs are less, population was more. So they desperately needed the jobs, which has been taken advantage by the contractors. At the time, contractors are there who are giving jobs in the weaving field. So the people are desperate need of jobs, but under this need was taken as advantage by the contractors. Okay, to reduce the prices of the goods they order. I mean, the contractors are giving order to weave the cloth to the weavers, and the weavers they are doing the work. Suddenly the contractors decreased the weavers wage which they order. Okay, hence what happened in 1845, the weavers of Silesia village had led to a revolt against the contractors who supplied them raw materials and gave them orders to finished goods or finished textiles, but drastically reduced their payments. So since they reduced their payments, the weavers rose in revolt against the contractors. The contractors actually they gave raw material, they gave advance and to prepare the finished cloth, and these people, by taking the advantage of their weak economic position, they reduced their payments, which made the weavers angry. Hence they rose in revolt against the contractors. So this is the North Silesia revolt. Now how the revolt actually outbreak took place. On 4th June at 2 p.m. On 4th June at 2 p.m. large crowds of weavers marched into pairs up to the mansion. Here mansion means, the word is given in the boxes, mansion means a very big house in the rural area. So they marched to the mansion where these contractors are lived. Okay, mansion of their contractor demanding higher wages. They went on pairs to the mansion in the rural areas demanding higher wages to them. They were treated with scorn and threats alternatively. They were threatened and they were given scorns as punishment. So they got angry. A group of weavers forced their way and went into the house of the contractor and destroyed their window panes, furniture, etc. Some of the weavers, they got angry. The angry weavers marched into the house of the contractors and they destroyed everything in the mansion's house. Another group broke into the storehouse and plundered its of supplies of cloth, which they tore to shreds. They went into the godowns, or I can say the storehouse. They collected the weaved cloth and they tore that one. The contractors, with the fear of this uprising, they fled away with his family members to the neighboring village. But the neighboring village people also not gave them any shelter. Okay, which however refused to shelter such a person. The contractors they left the house secretly in order to escape this revolt by the weavers. They went to the neighboring village to take the shelter, but the neighboring village people also not given any shelter. Then he requested the army, the contractors requested the army for help, and again they returned within 24 hours with the army to that village. In exchange of the weavers' revolt, 11 weavers were shot dead. Now last topic, students, that is abdication of monarch. How the monarchs were removed from the thrones. The rise of food prices or a year of bad harvest led to widespread pauperism, poverty, okay, or beggarliness. Pauperism is what? Beggarliness in town and country. The rise of food prices and the year of bad harvest led to beggarness in towns and country. Hence in 1848, okay, a revolt took place in France. So the main reason is what? Food shortage and widespread unemployment brought the population into the roads of Paris, out on the roads. Okay, barricades were erected or placed by the ruler. At that time the ruler was Louis Philippe. Louis Philippe was the ruler of France during 1848 revolt. Louis Philippe was the ruler of France during 1848 revolt in France. So Louis Philippe was there at the time. So all the revolutionaries, they went to the Louis Philippe's the palace to kill him. Okay, but this Louis Philippe managed to escape. He fled away from that place to England to save his life in disguise. Changing his what? Appearance in disguise along with his family members, and took shelter in where? England. So Louis Philippe was forced to flee from that place. A nationalist, when he left the France to save his life along with his family members into England, so all the revolutionaries felt very happy because they deposed the monarchy. Hence a national assembly was proclaimed by all the revolutionaries, and a republican government was formed in France, granted suffrage to adult males above the age of 21. So they granted right to vote to the males above the age of 21 and guaranteed right to vote to every person. This new republican government was guaranteed right to vote and also employment. Events of February Revolution 1848 in France had brought about the abdication of the monarchy. I can say this 1848 revolt only brought what? The end of the monarchical rule in France. And there they established what? A republican government which right to work, that is employment, and also the right to vote, that is suffrage, but only to those male people who are the above age of 21. So students, we have covered all these topics today in this video. We will come up with some more topics in the next video. Till then, take care.